What's up YouTube? Welcome to Traptrix in Debt Part 5, Siding to break the meta. For this video, I'm going to focus on the Labrynth matchup. How do you side in games 2 and 3? Do I have generic plans versus Labrynth? And at the end, I'll end on some experiences of mine versus the deck. The reason I'm starting with Labrynth is simple. Lab is a matchup that can easily go both ways. And it's in my experience that whoever gets their engine rolling the fastest has all the advantage in this match. When I look at the Labrynth archetype on its own, I already see the problems we might face as Traptrix players. Lady is a terrifying boss monster. When we use our traps, she can chain to get anything the player wants, whether it be the transaction rollback, the Ruma cannon, a Eradicator epidemic virus, you name it, anything. She's untargetable and indestructible by card effects when there is a face down on their field, and it's way too easy to summon. Then there's Lovely. Lovely is a scary card, because she can easily interrupt your normal summon, which is often our only play. The same can be said about their field spell, but the field spell is a bit extra annoying. It gives Welcome that extra destruction effect. There really aren't a lot of openings to get rid of it as well with our engine, making this a problematic card. For example, when they have a set Welcome and you have Holotea and Myrmelio in your graveyard, when they activate the field spell, there's actually no way you can chain your Holotea so that Myrmelio pops the field before they get to pop a card themselves. They can, when they activate their field and you go Holotea, they can just chain their Welcome, get their pop in first before Myrmelio can trigger to pop the field. There is no single way where you can chain your Holotea, get the Myrmelio out, chain a trap, special with Sarah, stuff like that, to pop the field before they can pop themselves, and that's problematic. You need to rely on non-engine to destroy that card. Now, lastly, Big Welcome's Grave Effect. It might be the most dangerous of the entire Labrynth archetype. A possible bounce of our normal summon, combined with all the follow-up that the deck gets, is really detrimental. So what are we going to do? When I am siding, I always look what cards are pretty useless in the main deck. In this case, when we look at our main deck, Phantasme and Draw and Lock are completely useless in this matchup, so we take those out versus Labrynth. There are 5 cards already. Then, both the Imperms and the Effect Veilers are possible side outs. They do little work against Ariana and possible link plays that they make, but it isn't as detrimental as other cards. So these 5 are options to side out. But these 5 need to go immediately. Now, what would we side in? If we look at our side deck, I've listed it out on the side here. The first thing that comes to mind for me are the Skullmeisters. Skullmeister is an amazing card in the against the Labrynth matchup. When a card effect is activated in your opponent's graveyard, quick effect, send this card from the hand to the graveyard, negate that effect. Amazing card. This card negates Big Welcome. To begin with, this card negates Transaction Rollback. That's 2 really good cards that the card just negates. That's amazing. Something else that you can note? Evenly matched, whether you're going first, whether you're going second, this card is pretty good in the Labrynth matchup. There are often places where you can use it, and if your engine is just rolling so hard, you're probably winning, and then you can just ditch this for a Holotea. So this is something that I always side in this matchup, and it's just an additional way to get rid of their cards. So I'm going to put this right here. Then, the double soul release. This, in my experience, is an amazing card against Labrynth. I experienced it a couple of times where the opponent goes off a little bit, they have all their cards in the graveyard. And you drop this, the soul release. Now you can target everything that you want in their graveyard, all their follow-up. And that's just detrimental, because they can't easily chain them to get them out of the graveyard. First, something needs to leave the field, and then their furniture pieces can activate to get themselves on the field or in the hand again. So this actually removes every threat that they have in the graveyard, and it's really great to just get rid of the big welcome before they can use it. So this is also coming in every time against Labrynth. So I'm going to put these here. Now at this point we have already sided 6, and I've only sided out these 5. So what I do is I also side out one of these. The thing that I think is easiest, I often side out an imperm going second, because you don't really want to trigger their lady. Going first, I often side out Veiler, so it kind of depends. You can side out one of these, whichever you feel is necessary. So yeah, one of these is going out. I'm gonna say the Veiler because I have something else that I want to show you. Another thing that I like to do in the Labrynth matchup is siding in these, the 3 parallel exceeds. Whether you are going first or second, these are an additional extender on your engine. And a generic way that I combat Labrynth, my engine has to outplay theirs. So you need to go faster with your engine than they are going. And having the parallel exceed actually helps you, because if you don't see a Traptrix monster, but you do have, for example, one Veiler in your hand, you can summon Veiler, make Almirage, and have your engine going with parallel exceed. And that's really strong. So that's why I said that, like, I often side out these, like the triple imperm for the 3 parallels, one Veiler for the for like the evenly match or something. And then this is the deck at this point versus Labrynth. I don't side in the different dimension grounds because this will never be convenient against Labrynth. They are furniture pieces, they discard as cost, so you can't chain it to a viable in a viable way. So that's always a thing. Ghost Mourners, they're kind of the same as Veiler and Imperm. They're not as good against this matchup. Talents and the Thrusts, they don't really activate their cards early, so it's not that convenient. But when your deck looks like this against the Labrynth matchup, you always have cards ready. You want to chain block the lady. You want to get your engine rolling faster. So at this point, I'm just gonna put away the side deck. So this would be your side right now, and this would be your main deck. You have obvious answers. So I'm gonna put the engine away for a second. The engine is really easy. The thing you want to do is every turn you want to grow on your engine. So you need the Serra, you need the Pinguicula, you need the Rafflesia. These are cards that are important in this matchup because you need to go further every turn. If you don't do that, you actually still might lose because the big monsters are just too hard to get rid of. Also keep your Redoer to get rid of a Lady Labrynth, because the thing is untargetable, not destructible, so it's really easy to get rid of it if you go Time Thief Redoer with a Holotea underneath it, because that's non-targetable removal, so yeah. Gravedigger's Trap Holes, amazing card against the furniture pieces, because they activate in the hand, but also their second effects in the graveyard can be negated with this. What I also often do, if I have this, I keep it in the hand for the Lady Labrynth, so it cannot special summon itself. So that's always a thing. Traptrix Trapple Nightmare, keep it in this matchup. It is good when they try to summon a... like they try to summon with the big welcome or the welcome, and then they use their effect. So like the Lovely can be destroyed by this, and you can just go from there. But that's it for the engine. So I'm gonna put this aside for now, so I can focus on non-engine more. Parallel Exceed, really important. Just put it in this matchup, whether you're going first or second. In the Labrynth matchup, it's an important card because you can just make any of your Link Force, your rank Force. It's important. You need it. So this. And right now, generic game plan: Cosmic Cyclone, Amazing card. I always keep this card in my hand. I never set it. So the thing with Labrynth, they can use their furniture pieces in your end phase to set a big welcome, for instance. And they try to still activate it with Cuckoo's Clock, or they just want it already for in their turn. So the thing that happens in the end phase, the most plausible thing that is going to happen is they have one furniture piece. So they ditch it with something else, they set a welcome in your end phase, or a big welcome. If you had set this, yeah, fine, now you cannot activate it anymore, and they will get their big monster on board. If you had kept this in your hand and treated it like an Ash or a Bell, right now, you already have 8 options to negate a big welcome or a welcome when you are going first. Which is great. You need this. You need to stop the welcomes, you need to stop the big welcomes, and keeping the Cosmics in your hand is actually an amazing gameplay against that deck. Now, of course, when you know the situation is there, you are safe. You know they don't have furniture pieces in their hands. It's like the middle of the gameplay. You draw this. There are no set cards. You can just set this because it's safe. It negates the possibility of a top deck big welcome, which they set. That's always great to have this as an option there. The thing that I want to focus more on is that first turn, because if in your turn they set their big welcome and you can Cosmic Cyclone it, then the card is gone. It's banished, which actually is so important. It doesn't go to grave for a possible transaction rollback. They don't get a bounce. No bounce means no reoccurrence from their engine. So they go -2, -3, -4 sometimes even, just to get off a big welcome. And if you kept this in hand, it's just an easy win. So keep these for the big welcome, for the welcome. If they win first and they have the field spell, the Cosmic Cyclone on the field spell is actually a valid play, because then they don't get to pop an additional card from their welcome or their big welcome. So yeah, that's the thing. If you draw the Veiler, like post side, I only have one in the deck. This card is still good. If you don't see Traptrix monsters, you can normal summon this, make an Almirage for your Parallel Exceed. Otherwise, this is probably best used on an Ariana. Just try to stop the search. If they have the combination of the furniture piece with the big welcome, then they can kind of, like, they can dodge the Veiler, but then you have other cards to maybe stop that. So yeah, you know what their hand is at that point. So yeah, Veiler is still kind of decent. It's weird. DD Crows. I kind of like the DD Crows to chain block their lady. So I often keep these in my hand, and when a trap is activated on their side, when they have a lady, you can just DD Crow one of the furniture pieces, and that way the lady cannot search or set any trap cards, and the DD Crow just comes in handy at that point. Same for Call by the Grave, but Call by the Grave is even better, because Call by the Grave can also interrupt their furniture pieces. When they use the effects, ditch from hand, you can just call by it and it's gone already. As always a thing. Already covered Soul Release. Soul Release, amazing card. If you rip it off, like all their, like, nothing can come back. It's all gone. If they have transaction rollback in the graveyard for a big welcome or a welcome, they can chain it, but then they'll pay 4,000 life points. And if they pay 4,000 life points, well, they're gonna have another thing coming with these. These do 2,000 damage each. If you get off 2, everything in their grave activates, everything in their hand activates. The Gravedigger Trap Hole are gonna come in clutch. Transaction rollback isn't a downside if they activate it. Soul Release gets rid of everything. Evenly matched, I don't think I have to say what this card can do in a Labrynth matchup. If you're going second and you see it, it's amazing. If you don't, it's also okay. But this is just a card that's in there as like filler, so you don't draw the terrible cards. This card is actually, it can come in clutch at that point. And then, like, these. I mean, I cannot tell you guys how important these are in this matchup. Labrynth hates Skullmeister. you just wait. Like, in my experience, I've always had this card against Labrynth, because I'm playing 3, of course. And every time that I have it, I just throw it on their big welcome in an important, like on an important piece. They have a small board, I have a small board. Summon a Traptrix monster, they try to bounce my card with a big welcome. Go Skullmeister, just negate that. Their furniture pieces cannot trigger anymore, they don't come to the board. They get nothing out of it, and that one Skullmaster can just save you the game. But yeah, that's my experience with the card. I don't know if anyone else has another experience, but this card is actually really good right now. Not only against Labrynth, but also against Voiceless Voice. I'm gonna go over that in a video in the near future. But Skullmeister is amazing. I love this card. It's also level 4. So in a pinch, if you need it, you can just normal summon this to run over an SP Lil Knight. You can summon it if you have the field spell, like you can go normal summon Skullmeister, use the field spell for a second normal summon, so you can get easy rank 4s out of that. But like, this card is really great. I love Skullmeister. In the Labrynth matchup, it's such a big winner. It stops everything. Sure, it doesn't banish the cards like a Called By would, or a DD Crow, but this is actually better in some regards. So I like this more in the Labrynth matchup than I do a Bell or a DD Crow. So they have different functions. If I see the Bell, it's because I want to negate a big welcome. If I see the Skullmeisters, I want to negate a big welcome in the grave. It's completely different. So yeah. But yeah, that's it for my siding patterns against Labrynth. I've already told you guys what my generic plan is for like all these cards and what I want to do with them. And I've shared my experiences with these cards as well in the matchup. The thing that bothers me most in the Labrynth matchup is when they do get a lady on board with back row, that you cannot target it or you cannot destroy it by card effects. And at that point, it's like, these are your friends, like the Borolo Dragon, and the Time Thief Redoer, because these don't target to get rid of a monster. So yeah, these two are amazing in that matchup. So you'll have to rely on these if they get it on board, and you can't get rid of the cards. Things like the Daruma Cannon, stuff like that are annoying in the Labrynth matchup, but the best thing that you can do is try to pop them with Mermelio, because if you special Mermelio, you often have your normal summon left, so you kind of try to lure it out on beforehand. Yeah, I think that's it. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao!